Welcome everyone, my name is Jeff Oster and today we'll be going through how to install Horizon on AVS. We have an AVS cluster already deployed. This is a basic install without any other virtual machines or configurations. The first thing we need to do is access our jump box to get to our vSphere client. Once you connect to the jump box and log into the vSphere client, you can see we've already created a few folders for organization that we'll touch on later. Now we need to log into our NSXT portal so we can finish the configuration for the networking. So we log in with our cloud admin username and password that you can get from the Azure portal. The first thing we need to do is create a DHCP profile. So let's go ahead and go through this intro here. Navigate to the networking tab at the very top. And on the bottom left, we're going to click on DHCP and then add new profile. Go ahead and give it a name that makes sense to you and your organization and a virtual IP address that you'd like the DHCP server to be. Just make sure it conforms to your organizational standards that you have in place. For this, we're going to use 10.60.1.1/30. Go ahead and click Save. Now the second step, we need to create a new Tier 1 gateway to facilitate routing and communication. On the left side, we click on Tier 1 gateways and then click on Add Tier 1 gateway. Specify a name for the gateway. We're just going to call this T1 gateway for now. Make sure it's linked to your default gateway, which is usually going to be TNT, **-T0 or the like. Then we can click on Save and then click No. Now the third step we need to complete is adding the DHCP configuration to our newly created Tier 1 gateway. Let's go ahead and click on Edit on the gateway and access these settings. Let's select the DHCP configuration and change the DHCP server type to DHCP server, and then we select the DHCP profile we created earlier and click Save. Next, we click on Route Advertisement and ensure all the toggles are enabled. Then we click Save and close settings. Now the last piece while we're in NSXT is to add a network segment and enable DHCP on it. So on the left side, click on Segments and then Add Segment. Go ahead and give it a name that makes sense to you, and make sure the connected gateway is the new Tier 1 gateway we created earlier, and the transport zone is TNT ***TZ. Now we can enter in a subnet that you would like to use for this network segment. And then once you have the subnet set right there, we'll click on Set DHCP Config. And in here we just need to make sure we enter a DHCP range so that our servers can pick up an IP address, servers and desktops. Once you have that range in there, go ahead and add your DNS server IP address. Click Apply, Save, and No. Everything looks good inside NSXT, so I think we're done here. We can head back to vSphere and continue with our Horizon Connection Server installation. We can verify that the network shows up here, our new network segment. We called it servers earlier. You can see it's right there. Now let's go ahead and create a new virtual machine in the Horizon folder. We're going to call it HZCon01 for Horizon Connection 0. Accept the default compute resources. Select the vSAN data store. Go ahead and accept the default compatibility. And then for the Windows OS, we need to make sure it's 2019. Under hardware, we need to change the network to servers, our new segment. And then we need to add the data store ISO and make sure we select the Windows Server ISO image so we can install it. Make sure the ISO is connected on the right side. And then just go ahead and run through the installation. Now we're back to a fresh server install. Let's make sure it's domain joined. We've previously downloaded the Horizon license file and the binaries to install the Horizon Connection Server. So let's go ahead and install that license and the connection server. Navigate to where you downloaded the file. It could take a minute to get started here. Go ahead and click next when it's ready. Accept the license terms. You can modify the install location. Here we're going to make sure the web client's on the same server. That can be separated at your leisure. Go ahead and enter a recovery password in case you need it. We're going to have Windows Firewall configured automatically for us. Authorize the domain credentials to access the environment. Go ahead and click Next on Customer Experience Program. And this is where you choose which environment you'll be installing this. There's many options: General, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, etc. Obviously, we're doing this in Azure, so we're going to choose Azure. Just gives it a little more compatibility with Azure VMware Solution, Azure Components. You can choose General, but it won't have as much compatibility as Azure. So we'll go ahead and stick with Azure and click on Install. We'll let that run. Now we're going to go to where our license file is. Go ahead and copy that. We're going to open the VMware Horizon console. Add that to our favorites bar here so for quick access. Log in with the administrative credentials you provided earlier, VDI admin in this case. Now the licensing should pop up the first thing you enter the portal. We're going to go ahead and click on Edit License. Go ahead and paste in your license key right here and click OK. Now this should give you details about your entitlement, when it expires, and all that information. For the next steps, we want to make sure we add our Active Directory domain credentials to manage to the machines so that these can be joined to the domain and users can log into the portal. So we go to Domains, click Add. Our domain is vdi.contoso.org. We input our domain credentials and click OK. Now it has access to our Active Directory environment. Now we want to go to Servers and click on Add vCenter. Go ahead and input your vCenter server IP address and then username and password. And we need this vCenter here so Horizon knows where to deploy pools to and what to communicate with. Make sure the deployment type is Azure VMware Solution, and then we're going to go ahead and leave the rest of the defaults as is. These can be changed if you need to. Click on Next. Click on View Certificate and Accept. We're going to go ahead and just hit Next through the storage. Storage reclamation isn't available on Horizon on AVS. Let me go ahead and click on Submit. And that's it. So we have our connection server installed, our domain set up, our vCenter servers added. Are you ready to create some pools? Thank you for watching.